In 2007, this company owned 40% of every phone sold on Earth. By 2013, it had sold its phone business for scraps. Nokia didn't lose because it ran out of money. It didn't lose because it ran out of engineers or factories or customers. It had all of them, more than almost anyone. It lost because of a decision its own people saw coming and could not stop. For most of the early 2000s, Nokia wasn't just a phone company. It was the phone company. If you owned a mobile phone 20 years ago, there's a good chance it was a Nokia. The 3310, nearly indestructible. The 1100, one of the best-selling devices in human history. At its peak, Nokia was the most valuable company in Europe. Its phones were in more than 1 billion pockets. In Finland, it was a national treasure, a single company responsible for a huge share of an entire country's economy. And here's the part most people don't know. Nokia wasn't behind on technology. It was ahead. Years before the iPhone, Nokia engineers had already built working touchscreen phones. They had tablet prototypes. They even had the idea for an online store to download apps, years before Apple's App Store existed. Nokia could see the future. It had built pieces of it in the lab. So what happened? In January 2007, a man in a black turtleneck walked onto a stage in San Francisco and held up a phone with no keyboard, the iPhone. Inside Nokia, the reaction was not fear. It was dismissal. The iPhone was too expensive. Its battery was weak. It was fragile. It had no real keyboard. To the people who ran the most powerful phone company on Earth, it looked like a toy, a rich man's gadget that would never survive the mass market. They had watched competitors come and go for 20 years. They were certain they would outlast this one too. They were wrong. Here was the real problem. And it wasn't the hardware. Nokia's phones ran on software called Symbian. For years, it had been the most popular smartphone system in the world. But Symbian was built for an older kind of phone. Small screens, keypads, low power. It was never designed for a world of touchscreens and apps. And it was becoming a nightmare for developers to build for. Apple had one clean system, then Google released Android and gave it away free to any phone maker who wanted it. Nokia had a choice. It could abandon Symbian and adapt. It could even adopt Android like everyone else was about to. Instead, it clung to the system that had made it rich. But the deeper failure wasn't a piece of software, it was inside the company itself. Researchers who later studied Nokia's collapse found something chilling: a culture of fear. Middle managers were afraid to tell their bosses the truth, afraid to admit that Symbian was failing, that the company was falling behind. And the leaders above them, afraid of losing ground, pushed for promises that could not be kept. So the truth stopped traveling upward. The engineers who knew the platform was dying stayed quiet. The leaders who needed to hear it never did. By 2010, Nokia was in freefall. It brought in a new chief executive, the first from outside Finland, a man named Stephen Elop. In February 2011, he wrote a memo to his staff. It leaked to the world almost immediately. In it, he compared Nokia to a man standing on a burning oil platform in the middle of the sea. To survive, the man had to jump into the freezing water below. It was meant to wake the company up. Instead, it told the entire world that Nokia believed its own phones were on fire. And then came the decision that ended it. Nokia would jump. Not to Android, the system about to take over the world, but to Microsoft. To Windows Phone, a system almost no one was using. The timing was catastrophic. Customers stopped buying the phones Nokia was still selling because the company had just told the world they were dead, and the new Windows phones weren't ready and never caught on. Nokia had jumped off the burning platform and missed the water. The collapse was breathtaking in its speed. In just a few years, the company that had owned 40% of the global market watched its share fall towards zero. In 2013, Nokia sold its phone business to Microsoft for around $7 billion. Within 2 years, Microsoft wrote almost all of it off and cut thousands of jobs. The Nokia phone, once the most popular device on the planet, was effectively gone. Nokia wasn't destroyed by Apple, or by Google, or by Microsoft. It was destroyed by a series of decisions made from the top of the mountain when it had every advantage, every resource, and every warning it could have asked for. Dismiss the iPhone as a toy. Cling to dying software because it once made you rich. Build a company where no one dares speak the truth. And when the panic finally comes, jump in the wrong direction. Nokia could see the future. It simply could not bring itself to believe it. That's how empires fall. Not because they don't see the threat, but because they can't admit what it means. I'm going to keep telling these stories, the decisions that destroyed the biggest names in the world. If that's something you want to see more of, subscribe. This is Downfall.